Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Frank Graham, Frank Nelson, starring as Jeff-Regan investigator. And this would be, there might be one more episode, but I believe this is the final episode of the series from 72 years ago, August 27th, 1950. Gentlemen prefer horses. And we thank you for tuning in on this Saturday, 27th day of August, 239th day of the year. We have 126 days remaining until we get to 2023. Oil discovered in Titusville, Pennsylvania on this date in 1859, the world's first successful oil well. The automotive division of Toyota Automatic Loom Works spun off on this date in 1937 into the Toyota Motor Company. Mars 2, or rather Mariners 2, launched to Venus on this date in 1962.
New dimensions were added to man's understanding of space with the successful voyage of Mariner 2. The mission? To put a satellite within looking distance of the planet Venus, some 30 million miles away. A navigation problem which would defy solution without today's electronic computers. For this interception, the Mariner could not take the straight line distance between 2 points, rather a long curving orbit covering 182 million miles and taking 109 days. The Air Force Atlas, teamed with the Agena space vehicle, carried the Mariner to the departure point in deep space. The trip began at 2:35 in the morning on August 28th. The Agena was placed in Earth orbit by the Atlas, and at the proper time, the Agena kicked Mariner into its long arching trail. Its course was corrected shortly thereafter, and on the afternoon of December 14th, the electronic eyes and ears of Mariner scanned Venus from a distance of 21,000 miles, flashing the facts to Earth by means of a high-pitched radio signal. The NASA-developed Mariner 2 was an unqualified success in the conquest of space and scientific exploration.
NASA audio of the first successful flyby of Venus. Florida Department of Transportation stopped producing its distinctive, colorful U.S. highway signs so it could make use of federal funds for those signs back in 1993. Mars made its closest approach to Earth in nearly 60,000 years in 2003, passing about 34 million miles from Earth. Also in 2003, the first six-party talks involving South and North Korea, the U.S., China, Japan, and Russia, they convened to find a peaceful resolution to the security concerns of the North Korean nuclear weapons program. Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick pled guilty in Richmond, Virginia, to a federal dogfighting charge. And it was in 2011 Hurricane Irene struck the U.S. East Coast, killing 47, causing $15.6 billion in damage. Passing away on this date, a lovely lady, Gracie Allen.
Did you ever know that my Uncle Otis ran for city councilman of San Francisco?
Oh?
Oh, and what a campaign he put on.
Kissed all the babies, huh?
Oh, no, why should he? In San Francisco, very few babies are old enough to vote.
Yeah, well, the climate there keeps the babies young.
Of course. Some people thought Uncle Otis wouldn't make a good councilman because he liked to drink a little.
Oh?
So part of his campaign was to prove he had reformed.
Now, how did he do that?
Well, every night he went around the neighborhood from house to house.
House to house, yeah.
And when a man came to the door, he'd make a pledge.
Made a pledge, yeah?
Yes, he'd say, "Good evening, friend. This is the last drink I'll ever take," and then he'd take one. So after about 20 or 30 pledges, they carried him home.
On a stretcher, no doubt.
Oh, no, by that time, he was so stiff he didn't need one.
Gracie Allen, passing away on this date in 1964. Also passing away on this date, the manager of the Beatles, Brian Epstein, Bennett Cerf in 1971. We remember him well not only for his many pun-filled books, but also as his times on What's My Line. Also, author, humorist, and the television personality Sam Levinson, guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan, from Mission Impossible and Vegas, Greg Morris, and she was crazy in the ring, but apparently a very sweet, sweet lady, Luna Vachon. This is the birth date of the 30th Vice President of the U.S. under Calvin Coolidge and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Charles G. Dawes, co-founder of Rolls-Royce, Charles Rolls, President Johnson, Martha Ray, Jimmy C. Newman, Darrell Dragon of the Captain and Tennille, and Bill Daley.
Well, Sidney wrote them all in an hour, now we're doing what are we doing, like 40 shows. He wrote them and left. So Larry and I are standing together talking for like 20 minutes. So Larry would come up with these brilliant director ideas of what we should do. And so and also Larry would rehearse it after they would let us do it like a play. The cameramen were brilliant, and the directors, they'd say, okay, we'll light it. We would go, and Larry would set up the whole set, and we'd go to 20, 30, 20 on. So we went on. I not only knew my lines, I knew what I was doing. So, wow. And Newhart, we went in at 10 and left at 11, like I didn't know I was doing that character I was doing. Howard was terrified because I was trying to remember, where's my line, where's my mark, no rehearsal. But it worked great for Bob.
You remember him from Newhart and from I Dream of Jeannie, talking about both shows. Bill Daley, born on this date in history. You might remember his big 1957 hit Teenage Crush, Tommy Sands, 85 years old. Thalia Menninger in The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, Tuesday Wells, 79 today. He was Staff Sergeant Luther Rizzo in MASH, Lieutenant Provenza on TNT's The Closer and Major Crimes, and also he did a lot of crazy parts. G.W. Bailey, 78 today. A Bond girl in The Spy Who Loved Me, Barbara Bach, 76. Sergeant Slaughter, 74 today.
From Indeed, Paris Island, South Carolina, coming into view on his way to San Jose, California.
I don't know what that fellow said there in all that different type of language, but he says it'll take more than a whistle to beat him. Well, let me tell you, how does a Slaughter cannon sound? How does a Cobra clutch sound to you, Tito Santana? You're right. I don't respect anybody. I don't have to come up here and call people names, but I will. You slime, you greaseball. I get a kick out of calling people names. And you know why I can do it? Because I'm man enough to do it.
Not a bad wrestler, but an even better promo. Sergeant Slaughter, 74 today. A lot of his problems with Vince McMahon were with the fact that Vince wanted some of that G.I. Joe money Slaughter was getting. And, well, anyway, Who Framed Roger Rabbit star Charles Fleischer, 72. Pee Wee Herman, 70 today. From Grey's Anatomy, Chandra Wilson, 53. The Great Khali, Dalip Singh, 7 foot and 1 inch tall, 50 years old. The second Becky Connor on Roseanne, Dr. Elliot Reed on Scrubs, Sarah Chalk, 46. From Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul is 43. From Freaks and Geeks and the Bold and the Beautiful, Kayla Ewell is 37. And from Glee, Blake Jenner is 30. Those some of the people celebrating the 27th day of August as their birthday. If this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, happy birthday to you.
72 years ago, August 27th, 1950, Jeff Regan Investigator on this Saturday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it. Find out why they rave about the customer service, and Find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, August 27th, 1950, 72 years ago, Frank Graham, Frank Nelson, Jeff-Regan, investigator, and Gentlemen Prefer Horses.
My name's Reagan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Sunday at 8:30, and CBS brings you Jeff-Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Reagan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery, suspense, and adventure in tonight's transcribed story, Gentlemen Prefer Horses.
Like they say in the racing form, it was a clear day, track fast, and a field of 7. Any way you looked at it, the smart money was on the Stevens entry. Except for me. I had a hot tip from a guy named Crenshaw, a jockey who finished in a dead heat with a bullet. I walked into the Lion's office that Tuesday afternoon. His hands were folded across 200 pounds of chest, and he wasn't being too particular about the cigar ashes on his vest. It was an expensive cigar. Kind he lit up on his birthday, New Year's, and at funerals.
Well, come in, Jeffrey, my boy. This is a fine day, a very fine day.
Yeah, I can tell by the smell. $1 cigar?
50 center. They were out of my usual brand.
Ah, price of rope's gone up.
Who cares? Today we're living off the fat of the land. Today we're having champagne and caviar. Figuratively, of course.
Yeah, sounds like fancy figures. Who furnished them?
Who but our new client? Jeffrey, today you and I have the pleasure of serving a young man named Boots Crenshaw.
How's that again?
Boots Crenshaw.
I just wanted to be sure.
Oh, the name. It is a little odd. You see, Boots was quite a noted jockey several years ago. Retired, moved to Los Angeles. Now he needs our help.
How much?
$100 worth, coin of the realm. Oh, what a day.
$100 will buy a lot of help.
That's the beauty of it. He doesn't need a lot. It's so simple. We do practically nothing.
Yeah, I'll bet.
All you do is run down to his hotel and talk to him. The Francesca on East 8th Street. What he wants is so childishly simple, I won't even bore you with the details.
Look, General, if it's that simple, maybe you better hire somebody on day rates to handle it. I don't know a thing about horses.
Exactly. That's why you're ideal for the job.
Because I don't know anything about horses?
That's right. You see, Jeffrey, my boy, although Boots Crenshaw is an ex-jockey, he says there's only one thing in life he can't stand.
Don't tell me.
You guessed it, Jeffrey. Horses.
I should have seen it for an outside bet right there, but I played it for a sure thing. I drove down Main to 8th and East until I spotted the Francesca Hotel. 3 floors of cracked plaster and a fire escape. It was old when Santa Anita was an onion patch. I parked around the corner and went in. A desk clerk with empty eyes and no teeth gave me 307. I went up, tripped on a hole in the carpet, and knocked. 3 minutes later, the door opened wide enough for one eye to look out.
Yeah?
You Crenshaw?
Long shot.
Where's Crenshaw?
Want a tip?
I already lost. I'm looking for Boots Crenshaw.
Who?
I told you.
No, I mean, if Boots was in, who would I say wanted him?
Look, he sent for me.
Sure. Who?
Okay, I'm Regan.
Did he say Regan?
Yeah, Regan.
Well, let him in. Come on in, Regan. I've been expecting you.
He wasn't.
Oh, long shot? He's the cautious type. Ain't that right, long shot?
Yeah, cautious.
Regan, long shot, Regan.
Fine.
He's the guy they call the Lion's Eye. Have a chair, Regan, have a chair.
Chair.
Thanks. Well, the Lion tells me you got a problem.
Maybe yes, maybe no. That's what I hired you to find out.
Ah, you're the curious type, huh?
Well, it's maybe not that simple. How do you want me to give it to you?
You're calling it. Just line him up at the barrier.
Oh, you already know I'm an ex-jockey.
Yeah, Lion said.
Well, then I'll start there. Up to 5 years ago, I was doing all right. I could boot 'em home with the best of 'em. Then one day at the fairgrounds, I took a spill. Bad. The doc salted it away for 6 months in the hospital and then ended up by telling me I don't ride no more. Well, that's tough on a guy who's been a jock all his life. Longshot will tell you, huh, Longshot?
Yeah, tough.
Anyhow, after I get out, I bum around the oil for a while, but my dough runs out. So, me and Longshot gets an idea.
Yeah, idea.
Know what the idea was, Regan?
No. What was the idea?
Simple. All me and Longshot knows is horses.
Horses.
So we decide to sell tips.
Great idea.
Oh, but that's not all there is to it. We sell special tips.
Yeah, special.
Yeah, $100 a throw. But get this. You get your money back if our pick don't come in.
You don't need any private eye.
No, it really works. The big spenders go for it. Oh, sure, we have to pay back lots of times, but we got enough winners to keep going pretty well. Up to a couple of weeks ago.
When your horses stop coming in.
Oh, no, the horses do fine, but there's one spender, my number one customer. We depend on him. And poof, all of a sudden he disappears.
Yeah, poof.
Now you're beginning to talk my language.
Yeah.
I don't mean you, Longshot.
Oh, sorry.
So I look for the missing customer. Is that it, Boots?
Yeah, sure, that's it.
Mm-hmm. What do I do when I find him?
Just find out about him, who he is.
Who he is?
Yeah.
You don't know who he is?
Oh, that's just it. He always sends a chauffeur in with it, though. A guy named Mike. Mike says the spender's name is McMillan.
Yeah, McMillan.
Yeah, but you don't believe it.
Oh, sure. Only he's a good customer, Regan. I don't want to lose him.
Maybe what you really want is the connection between this McMillan and the spill you took back at the fairgrounds.
Oh, there ain't no connection. I didn't say that. You get me all confused.
Me too.
You spent a half an hour giving me background that led to nothing. Now, there was a reason.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the whole thing hangs together like a string of Chinese firecrackers.
Oh, I'm giving it to you straight. You gotta believe me, Regan. You gotta.
Boots. My fee says I gotta find your man. But believe you? Nope. Nothing says I gotta do that. I got up and walked out, leaving Boots Crenshaw and his friend Longshot looking at each other like bewildered kids after an unloaded gun went off. Well, I had two things. A chauffeur named Mike and a spender who probably wasn't named McMillan. I headed down the stairs toward the postage stamp lobby. That's when something caught my eye. She was tall, slim, and blonde, but didn't come out of a bottle. She was looking at me, and for some reason, what she saw made her cry. Wait a minute, wait.
What do you want?
Well, you were looking at me, remember?
Well, that's not true.
Well, then you need bifocals.
I thought you were someone else.
Ah, sure. Yeah. Well, your mistake. See you around.
Oh, Mr. Regan.
Wow, now we're getting acquainted.
I was outside the door. I heard your name. I'm his wife.
Crenshaw's?
Yes. What does Boots want with you, Mr. Regan? What did he tell you?
Nothing.
But he must have told you something.
Well, only about McMillan.
McMillan?
You don't know McMillan?
No. Mr. Regan, Boots is in some kind of trouble. I've been scared stiff. If you know what it is.
I don't, but maybe you can help. Look, there's a bar across the street. I got a clean handkerchief. Let's talk. She didn't say anything, but I got the answer from her eyes. I held the door open for her, and we walked out onto the sidewalk. It was a cinch. Boots Crenshaw wasn't worth all those tears, but his wife kept on shedding him anyhow. At least until we got to the crosswalk at the corner. That's when something else happened. A baby blue convertible came cruising by, looking for a place to park. Chauffeur driven. It paused, then disappeared around the corner. The girl flinched. I had to choose between Mrs. Crenshaw or the convertible. The way she stared told me to choose the car. It took me 5 minutes and a walk around the block to locate it. The uniform and puttees were gone, so I slipped into the driver's seat. Blue and gold everywhere. Blue paint, blue upholstery. Gold steering wheel and knobs. I reached down for the registration. I didn't expect it to say McMillan. I didn't expect what I got either.
Save you the trouble, Peeper. It says Mike Johnson, 15 Windmill Road, Pacific Palisades.
I should have looked in the rear vision mirror. He was in the back.
So you like the car, huh?
It's nice.
Maybe you'd like to have one like it someday, huh?
I'll wait for the 51s.
Oh, this one's nice. Notice the seats. Foam rubber, real leather.
I don't like the color.
Do 110 with no strain.
Yeah, well, I'll get out and you show me.
No. You better try driving it.
Too late. Some other day.
You ain't heard my sales pitch yet. Look in that rear vision mirror again.
That heater didn't come with it.
No. A gun is my sales persuader. Now, I think you do want to drive it after all, don't you, Peeper?
He moved up front beside me. I drove. He headed me out Lakewood Boulevard. It was dark before we passed the airplane plants. And then just when I decided I was going to end up off the end of some pier, he had me turn into the oil fields. He picked a side road that was just 2 tracks in the goo. Then the ride was over, and we pulled up in front of a backdrop of pumping oil wells.
Okay, Beeper, stop here and shut it off. Like I said, drive's nice, huh?
Doesn't use this much oil.
No, none at all between changes. I made you come here just so we can talk.
Sure. Story of your life, maybe.
Story? No, I'm just going to tell you one little thing, that's all. You want to guess?
Sure. You're going to tell me who pays you and what for.
You talk awful tough, awful long.
What's McMillan got on Boots Crenshaw?
Get out.
Why the build-up of the $100 tip?
I said get out.
Okay. Okay.
Now walk a little ways. That's far enough. Wait a minute. Okay, Beeper.
How do I get it? In the back?
Told you I wanted to tell you just one thing, and here it is. Boots Crenshaw doesn't want your help. Lay off.
I waited for the shots. They didn't come. But by the time I turned around, the baby blue convertible had disappeared behind some pretty black oil wells.
August 27th, 1950, Jeff-Regan Investigator on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Veterinary telemedicine is booming. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Teller, President of the American Veterinary Medical Association, and I know firsthand that telehealth is a valuable tool to help provide our precious pets with the health care they need and deserve. Here are some situations where telemedicine may be an option for you and your pet. If the veterinarian has seen your pet in person in the past. If you're not sure you need to schedule an in-person visit. If your pet had surgery and needs post-operative follow-up. For skin diseases and rash rechecks. When your veterinarian needs to monitor your pet's chronic problems such as diabetes or allergies. If there are behavioral issues or training challenges. Or for hospice care. It's always good to have your session in a quiet place with good lighting. If you're not sure if you should set up a telehealth session, call your veterinarian and they'll let you know. To learn more, check out avma.org/telehealth. avma.org/telehealth.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. You're listening to an episode of Jeff-Regan Investigator as it was broadcast Sunday, August 27, 1950 on CBS's West Coast Network. In the newspapers of that Sunday 72 years ago, these were some of the headlines. In the Korean War, Reds taking Kiju in a drive on northeast sector, North Koreans falling back on the Central Front after failing in drives toward Daegu. A $16 billion emergency bill to help rearm the country and its allies passed yesterday by the House and sent to the Senate. The roll call vote 311-1. The lone opponent, Republican Rich of Pennsylvania, who asks almost daily, where's the money coming from? Secretary of State Dean Acheson, with an assist from President Truman, cracked down hard on Navy Secretary Matthews yesterday for saying the U.S. should be willing to institute a war to compel cooperation for peace. The action, according to John M. Hightower from the Associated Press, not only precipitated the first wide-open cabinet split on foreign policy since the row between James F. Burns and Henry A. Wallace in September of 1946, it also seemed to make inevitable a public debate on a preventable war with Russia. Actress Hedy Lamarr told police yesterday her uninsured collection of gems, valued very conservatively at $250,000, disappeared mysteriously from her plush Fifth Avenue hotel suite. She said the missing gems collected during the last 14 years included a diamond necklace, an 11.5-carat diamond ring, a 3-strand pearl necklace, and a single string of pearls with a diamond clasp. The Army set up a skeleton organization of fewer than 50 men yesterday to take over the nation's major railroads today and see that their normal operations go on without a break. Carl R. Bendenson, Assistant Secretary, announced that all necessary steps have been taken to carry out President Truman's order that the Army seize the railroads today to avert a threatened strike. He emphasized that the Army wants sufficient reports to be sure that normal operations are maintained, but it will not interfere in operations if they are carried on normally. And a Denver radio station received a letter in child's handwriting reading, "Dear Sir, I stole, S-T-O-L-L, about 11 cents worth of things from your ladies' restrooms several months ago. It's been bothering my mind. Sorry, so I enclosed the amount I stole, S-T-O-L-L. Attached to the letter was a dime and a penny, 11 cents. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, August 27th, 1950, on your radio, Jeff Regan Investigator, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
It took me an hour and a half to walk back to the boulevard and hitch a ride to my car. And it took another hour to buck the evening traffic out to Pacific Palisades. 15 Windmill Road was Spanish and set way back behind a mailbox with no name. But it could support a lot of $100 tips. I pushed the bell and tried to figure out what I'd say when someone answered. That turned out to be no problem.
Yes. Well, hello, stranger. Come in. Come in out of the fog.
She was small and compact and brunette. She wore black horn-rimmed glasses, but they didn't get in the way. You could say the same for the sweater she was wearing.
Well, I said come in.
Yeah, you did. Thanks.
It's damp tonight. I don't like to keep people standing on the doorstep.
You're real thoughtful.
There's a warm fireplace in here. You'd like the fireplace.
Sure.
We can talk better in there. You do want to talk about something, I suppose.
Lead the way.
There. That's better, isn't it? My name's Gloria.
Mine's Regan.
What are you selling, Mr. Regan?
Cadillacs.
We already have two.
This one's baby blue.
Oh, you've met Mike.
I sure have.
Is he in trouble again?
I'll talk to his boss about that.
Mr. Stevens?
I was told it was McMillan.
No. There's nobody named McMillan here. This is the Stevens place.
Who are you?
I told you.
No, I mean to the boss.
I'm a secretary. I take dictation.
Yeah.
What do you want, Mr. Regan?
I'll tell the boss.
You couldn't wait for him.
Oh? When's he due back?
What did you say?
That's no answer.
Okay. So he won't be back for several weeks. I thought...
You thought wrong, lady. This is business.
About that, fireplace.
So long, lady.
Yeah. I'll tell Stevens you called.
By the time I got back out to my car, the fog was really thick. I drove and thought about that name, Stevens. I wasted some time finding a real estate office that was open late. The secretary was right. Stevens did own the house. I spent the drive downtown thinking the whole thing over. It was past 11 when I got back to the Francesca Hotel for another go at Boots Crenshaw. He was in bed, but he didn't get up to answer the door. He wouldn't be answering any more doors. He was sprawled across the covers, face up. In one hand, he had his riding silks I'd seen tacked up on the wall. But this time I really noticed them, the color. They were baby blue and gold.
The conclusion of Jeff Regan Investigator, August 27th, 1950, when Classic Radio Theater continues in a moment. Peter Lorre on Sunday's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Beyond Good and Evil, Mystery in the Air. 75 years ago, August 28, 1947, an escaped convict kills a minister, takes his place in a small town while planning a bank robbery. That's on Sunday's Classic Radio Theater, but now the conclusion of Jeff Regan Investigator, August 27th, 1950, 72 years ago.
It began when an ex-jockey who sold tips hired me to find out what happened to one of his best customers. He said the customer's name was McMillan, but a brunette secretary said it was Stevens. Wouldn't matter to the ex-jockey anymore. When I went back to his hotel to tell him, he was in bed. Not asleep. Dead. He was holding on to baby blue and gold shirt, the silks he'd worn in his last race. I called the police, and a tall, nervous lieutenant showed up.
Your name?
Reagan.
His name?
Boots Crenshaw.
What's he to you?
A corpse.
Tell me.
Okay, he was a client. I'm with the Lion Agency. Here.
Jeff Regan. License. Uh-huh. Okay. He, didn't pay his fee?
Oh, you don't think I killed him?
Just thought I'd ask.
You got your answer.
You carry a gun?
Sometimes.
Uh-huh. I'll keep it for you.
I got a license for that.
Sure. Tell me more.
All right, he was an ex-jockey. He sold tips, hired me to find out why his best customer quit buying.
Customer's name?
McMillan, he said.
Find him?
No.
You're doing good.
The jockey had a partner. His name was Longshot Coy.
This even gets better, Regan. What else?
I met a fat guy in a blue and gold Cadillac. I met Crenshaw's wife. They didn't give me anything.
You travel fast.
I get paid for it.
Your story's lousy, Regan.
It's my story.
Okay, Ed, run him in.
Wait a minute.
Oh. Now there's more, huh?
No, look, I phoned you. Call Anthony J. Lyon, my boss. He'll check the story.
Okay, Gumshoe. We'll try that for a while. Stay close.
My gun.
Later. Maybe. Okay, Ed, let him go.
I headed outside for fresh air. But I didn't get far. A little guy buried in a big overcoat sidled up next to me.
Hey, Regan, I gotta talk to you. Surgeon.
It was Longshot Coy, somewhere underneath that upturned collar. He stuck with me. We turned down the block, away from the streetlights. Then he grabbed my arm.
Listen, Regan, I didn't kill Boots. I came in and found him that way, so help me. It was just a couple of minutes ago, maybe 15 or 20. The cops are going to make me the favorite, Regan. I'm not even an entry.
I'm listening.
I heard the shot. I was coming up the stairs. I heard it. One shot, then I found him dead.
Mm-hmm. See anything?
Whoever did it got away.
Well, why didn't you call the cops?
Me there practically when a shot was fired. The room clerk would tell him I'd gone up. I'd be a cinch to take the rap.
Well, the room clerk's going to tell him anyway.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You didn't just stop me to feel sorry for yourself.
Oh, no, I guess not. Regan, listen, there's something screwy. Something that don't add up right.
The wife?
Yeah. How do you know?
What about her?
She and Boots, they fought.
When?
Back in Chicago yesterday, all the time.
Why?
The usual reason. Other day.
Boots like to play the field, huh?
He used to, but not lately. He loves Susan, his wife. He really loved her, Regan.
Mm-hmm. You think she's in it?
I don't know.
What about the fall?
Huh?
The fall. Fall Boots took back at the fairgrounds.
Oh, that.
Finish it.
We all make mistakes, Regan.
Mm-hmm. Boots threw that race, didn't he?
Well, I didn't say that.
With the dough, he and his wife left town, took a tour, finally wound up in L.A.
Boots was hurt bad, Regan.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of the fix.
I don't know.
You're leaving something out, Longshot.
I didn't kill him, honest, I didn't. What do I do, Regan?
Go back there and turn yourself in.
I take the rap. It'd be a cinch to photo finish with a gas chamber. I can't do that, Regan. I can't.
It's your choice.
Yeah, I guess it's my choice. I'll see you later, Regan. I gotta think.
Longshot Coy wandered off in a daze, and I headed back to the bar across from the Francesca Hotel. The phone booth was empty. I called my boss, Anthony J. Lyon, asked him to phone Chicago and dig up everything he could on Boots Crenshaw and Longshot Coy. And while he was at it, I told him to check on a man named Stevens. Well, the Lion was going to be busy for a while, so I pulled up a bar stool. Then it hit me. I'd counted in everybody but the fat guy in the blue and gold convertible. I headed for my car in a hurry. Only I was too late.
Get in, Regan. I've been waiting for you.
He was sitting hunched behind the wheel, watching the fog. The gun in his hand was big and steady.
You had to show up sooner or later.
Just like Crenshaw.
Get in. Regan, I warned you to keep out of this. I told you it was nothing but trouble. You see, I was right. Trouble for you. This time I brought my knuckles, Regan. No answer? Oh, ain't that a shame?
When I came out of it, there was me and more fog, and the guy with the brass knuckles was gone. I tried to shake out the fog and get up. On the third try, I made it. The street was empty, and when I got out. Even the damp air smelled good. I made my way back into the bar and found the phone booth and a nickel. The Lion answered.
Regan, where have you been? It's been over an hour since you called.
What'd you find out, Lion?
What did I find out, Jeffrey, my boy? I found out everything, but everything.
Okay, out with it.
Oh, you'll be proud of me for this. Proud indeed.
If we ever get to it.
Very well, Jeffrey. I found out Boots Crenshaw was injured on July 13th, 1946. Fairgrounds track, 7th race, 100,000 added. He was riding for...
The Stevens Stables.
Jeffrey, that's true. How did you know?
Go on.
The name of the horse was Jade Lady, the favorite, post position 2. Boots Crenshaw was...
Wearing blue and gold. Stables colors.
Jeffrey, you're absolutely psychic. Yeah, let me see, where was I? Oh, yes, the horse fell while pulling away as he came into the home stretch. He was racing on the rail. There were those who said Boots deliberately threw the race. However, the racing steward said it was an accident.
Don't stop.
Well, Boots was laid up in the Chicago hospital for some time. Eventually, he recovered, left the city with his wife. They traveled extensively and then came to Los Angeles. That's all, Jeffrey.
What did you get on Long Shot Coy?
No, very little. He was picked up a couple of times for bookmaking, otherwise a clean record.
That finish it?
Oh, wait, I almost forgot. There's one thing more. The police have located Susan Crenshaw, Boots' wife. They've arrested her on suspicion of the murder of her husband.
That really finishes it.
Jeffrey, what do you mean?
I mean, the guy we need is Stevens, the owner of Jade Lady. The horse Boots was riding when he took the fall.
You think he's behind this, Jeffrey?
Well, it makes sense that way. Boots louses up a $100,000 purse. The horse has to be destroyed. Stevens not only loses the race, but some people say Boots framed him.
Yes, I see what you mean.
So Stevens follows Boots to Los Angeles, sets up the contact, then settles the score.
Jeffrey?
Yeah?
I've got news for you, Jeffrey.
Okay, what news?
You're sure about Mr. Stevens?
Okay, so we're supposed to have left town. You know something different?
Oh, Mr. Stevens did leave town, Jeffrey, quite some time ago.
What are you getting at?
In fact, it's safe to say he is not coming back. You see, my boy, your number one suspect, Mr. Stevens, is dead. Good night, Jeffrey.
It had to be Stevens. It made sense with Stevens. Time, place, motive, everything. Even the blue and gold car fit with Boots Crenshaw's riding, only Stevens was dead. That fixed it. Somebody was running the Stevens stables, and that somebody was my answer. I headed the car out Sunset and didn't spare the horsepower. 25 minutes later, I pulled up in front of the place. The fog was thicker than the hair on a Russian wolfhound. I headed around toward the back of the house. I was almost on top of it when I saw it. The big baby blue convertible, white sidewalls and all, sitting in the driveway. From somewhere behind the car, somebody was coming to meet me. It didn't figure to be a welcoming committee, and the police still had my gun. Suddenly, that somebody was named Mike, and he was diving at me, only this time I was ahead, and I stayed that way. There was a gun in his hands, it was pointing in my direction. Only I caught the barrel and bent it back, brought it down in his ear. He lay there, peaceful, a halo of fog in his head. I didn't wait, because a light flicked on back of the house, and I headed for it in a hurry. I stood looking inside. The room was big and rich-looking, and inside it there were people, 2 of them. Through the window I could see a small guy in an overcoat and a girl with a gun. I didn't wait for an invitation. Drop the gun, lady.
Not a chance, Reagan.
A shot went high. I dove across the room toward her. Long shot was right behind me. On the next one, he was where he shouldn't have been. The bullet grazed his head, and he went down unconscious. By the time she could turn the gun on me, I was there first.
Reagan, let go!
Like you said, lady, not a chance.
Reagan, my wrist!
Ah. Now it's the other way, Gloria.
You haven't got anything on me.
A book full.
You can't prove...
Did you kill Boots? Easy. Everything fits you that fits Stevens.
What do you mean?
My answer came out, Mr. Stevens. I was looking for a man. Now, that was my mistake. Change it around, call the man Mrs. Stevens, and you come up with the same total.
Stevens is dead.
Sure, but you're the wife. You've been running the stables. You're Mrs. H.V. Stevens.
Okay. So what if I am?
The blue and gold convertible told me you were mixed up in this. Crenshaw's shirt was blue and gold. It spelled Fairgrounds, 7th race, a horse named Jade Lady.
He threw the race.
Yeah, sure. But that wasn't why you tailed him.
Yeah?
He ran out on you, lady. If you wanted to sew him up, you could have done it after the race. But you weren't interested in a dead horse. You were interested in a live jockey.
It was his wife. She took him away.
She had a lot of nerve.
He left Chicago with her. He left me with the hospital bills.
Like a woman scorned. So you caught up with him, tried to force him back. But when he stuck with the wife, you killed him. Longshot Coy was going to be next. You brought him out here to the house.
Yeah. Boots and I are 2 of a kind, Reagan. dirty little rat. He could get me off. Never mind. Go on. Phone the police.
You know what? I will. You know, it looks like you're entered in a race for the gas chamber, sweetheart. And the way I figure it, you'll finish 5 lengths ahead. Well, the cops took it from there. Mike and his boss, Gloria Stevens, joined the paddy wagon set, and a young medic slapped some bandages on Longshot Coy's head. He was like new. Me? I watched the fog settle over the blue and gold convertible and drove home. The next afternoon, I dropped in on the Lion. He didn't look so chipper. The cigar he was smoking was strictly 3 for a dime.
Oh, hello, Jeffrey.
Why the long face, General?
Hey, Jeffrey, I'm not going to hide it from you. When the truth is hidden, only the liar must suffer.
Are you okay?
Hey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, my boy, I lied to you. I did not receive a $100 retainer from Boots Crenshaw.
What?
You see, Jeffrey, he had such an honest face, such an innocent look. The dirty crook.
You didn't?
Yes, Jeffrey, I did. Instead of taking the money, I let him talk me into taking a tip. Extra special tips, I believe he called it.
So you didn't collect a nickel?
No, I took the tip. After all, he guaranteed to pay me if I lost. How was I to know he was a cheat, a cad, a blackguard? Besides, it was sort of a hunch.
A hunch?
The horse, Autumn Frolic, reminded me of my youth.
How much did you bet?
$10 on the nose. Oh, why
Save
did
it, Lion. Did you see the afternoon paper?
No, why?
First race, Del Mar. Winner, Autumn Frolic. Paid $21 for a $2 ticket.
What did you say, Jeffrey?
You won.
Jeffrey, we're rich. We're millionaires. We're in paradise.
Thanks to Boots Crenshaw.
Yes, of course. Oh, dear Boots, a fine young man, a good soul. Jeffrey, remind me to write a note of condolence to his mother.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, was written tonight by William Frug, directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is heard transcribed each week at the same time over CBS. Joe Walter speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Much like The Whistler, the program aired on the West Coast CBS network. And it would be either the last or the next to the last. I found some conflicting information because Frank Graham would commit suicide on September 3rd, 1950. So there you go. Jeff Regan, Investigator, Frank Graham, Frank Nelson. Visit my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me there. classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great Saturday. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.